Forward to debating Kamala Harris?
Sure. I mean, I would like to debate her. I like to debate, but I like to debate for the country, not for myself. And generally speaking, I think it's a great way of exposing people. It's a great way of finding whether or not, number one, whether or not they're capable, and also their ideas. Look at her ideas. It was up to her. She's going to go right back. If she won, she'd go right back to open borders and destroy the rest of the country. Our country is being destroyed. You know it. I know it. I'm not sure they know it. They have some kind of a game. One little piece of their game is trying to register these people to vote. But, they do it other ways also, so it's not just that. But it's hard to believe that anybody would want to see open borders where people come in totally unvetted or unchecked. Really hard to believe.
A lot of political social media influencers, and hell, even people like Stephen A. Smith have been online saying that the Trump campaign is scared and they're panicking because now Trump is running against Kamala. And it's funny watching them spread these lies because all of us over here have been preparing for this for months. Hell, we were preparing for this when y'all were telling us that Biden was okay and that Biden was the guy. We already knew that Biden was not going to be the one running for president in the long run. We didn't know when it would be announced, but we knew it was coming. Now Kamala, Kamala being the choice, I think some people may be surprised by that because no one likes Kamala. She doesn't poll very well. In fact, in a lot of polls, Trump is doing better over Kamala than he was over Biden. But I do know that they're really going to extremely play the race card over the coming months. They're going to try to use that to win the election. They're going to be heavy on the identity politics. And they're going to be looking for news stories that they can use to fuel the racial divide. And I think they already got a couple of them that happened this week. But, they're pretending as if everyone's in a panic. But no one is even surprised by this. They're surprised by this. They're surprised like, oh, God, Biden can't run for president again? No. He wasn't even capable of being president for the last 4 years. He was a fake president the whole entire time. A fake puppet president. We all knew it. Sorry y'all didn't. But Trump isn't running scared from Kamala. Trump has been already challenging Kamala to a debate. It's not like he's running away from the situation. If anything, I think everyone's laughing at the fact that Kamala is their nominee. And one of the biggest issues right now is illegal immigration. That's one of the biggest issues politically right now. And who was the border czar? Who was in charge of the border? No other than Kamala. And the 4 worst years we've ever had with illegal, immigrants pouring into our country, violent people pouring into our country. And, I cover true crime over on some of my other channels. And there's stories every day with illegal immigrants hurting innocent women and sometimes young kids. And I'm tired of seeing these stories because I was never seeing stories like this, at least at this rate, 4 years ago, 5, 6, 8 years ago. No. Within the last 4 years, things have gotten absolutely insane.
As you know, she was the border czar, and essentially she never went to the border. She went once, but she went into a location where you would love to have dinner, very soft. There was a location where nothing was happening, and they knew that. So she essentially never went to the border. The border was the worst border anywhere in the world, probably in the history of the world, the most border. And I think you're going to have, by the time hopefully we get them out, you're going to have 20 million people coming in, many from prisons, many from jails and prisons. If you think of it, there is a slight difference. And also many from mental institutions and even insane asylums are emptying out into our country. And also many, many terrorists are pouring into our country. And she's the worst border person in history. And yes, guys like Tom Homan or Brandon Judd, they will tell you there's never been anything like it. She was the border czar. She knew nothing about the border. The border is the most devastating thing to happen to this country. in so long. And I'd put up there also the way we withdrew in Afghanistan. I mean, there's so many things. Nothing good happened during this administration. Nothing.
Now, do I think it's a given that Trump is just going to easily beat Kamala in the race? No. Because I know they have more tricks up their sleeve. We don't even know if she's actually going to be the nominee. I think she is, don't get me wrong, but they can pull the bait and switch again, the old switcheroo. Because that's what they're doing. They're trying to cause a state of confusion. They're trying to install someone at the last minute. So, you're not prepared for what you're going against. And they want there to be that initial enthusiasm, Because there was some initial enthusiasm about Biden stepping down because no one can really be excited about supporting Biden. And no one's excited about supporting Kamala. But that's why they got to do the identity politics, the strong black girl magic, first black woman president. That's the only thing they're going to be trying to ride with. And they're hoping that people will, totally dismiss the destruction that we've witnessed of our country for the last 4 years to vote for the more, socially acceptable, I voted for a strong black woman over Trump. That's basically what they're going with. None of the policies, none of that. It's identity politics all the way. And do not underestimate identity politics, especially when it comes to the younger generations these days, because their minds are warped and they've been, indoctrinated in the public school system. So you never really know. You never know what could happen. And they've shown that they don't play fair. In fact, this old switcheroo with Kamala, it's not really fair. And I don't say that, it's not fair for Trump or anything. It's not fair for people within Kamala's party because did y'all decide this? Did y'all make that decision? Or did they decide who the nominee was going to be for you? It's kind of like what they did with Bernie and Hillary Clinton. I don't know if you all remember that. This has been happening for the last few elections where, the people aren't really deciding who the nominee is going to be. They kind of tell you like, hey, screw you, we're going to throw in this person. So if I were them, I would have a problem with that because that's not, democracy. But hey, that's a conversation for another day. For now, let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell. And if you find yourself getting too worked up about all of this, remember, it's just political cinema.